What would you say to children who are reading this who maybe perhaps want to be an author someday? Or
I was just discussing that very thing with my new young friend McKay, who brought me his own dragon illustration and the beginnings of his own book. And he's 9 years old. And I asked him that specifically because I started publishing comic books when I was 14. I'd always had the frame of mind that it's not how old you are, it's how good the material is. And if you're accomplished enough, why shouldn't kids be good enough? You look at Olympic caliber athletes, you look at the gymnasts. World-class gymnasts are frequently teenagers, 13, 14 years old, and they are the best in the world. The same thing can happen if you have enough experience, enough background, enough practice, if you've developed your abilities enough, you can have a young author. Look at Christopher Paolini with Aragon. He self-published it when he was 18, I believe, and has now become one of the biggest authors in the world. And so I think for young authors and artists that want to do this, draw every day, write every day, read as much as you possibly can, because when you write books, you have to create entire worlds. So somebody that wants to write a fantasy novel shouldn't just write fantasy books. You should read history and mythology and geography and politics and anything that can help you to learn to build your own worlds.
what else would you like to say? Anything else we need to know, or where are you going? Where are you going to be touring?
It's well, I'm about to start the West Coast tour for the new book, The Search for the Red Dragon. So I'm starting in Tempe at Changing Hands bookstore, then going over to San Diego and just working my way up the coast. And then I have a couple of months of some art shows that I'm doing with the original illustrations from the book. And then East Coast tour, Southern States tour. And while I'm doing this, I'm writing and editing the third and fourth books in the series and getting the drawings done in between. So a lot of work to do, but I've been on the other side of that equation too, where no one was as interested in what I was doing, and we weren't publishing good numbers. And I am profoundly grateful that so many people want to read the books. The thing is the promotional cycle really doesn't stop. I get these extended breaks in between, but we're hoping the third book, which is called The Indigo King, comes out in October. And that means as we're starting to wind down things on Red Dragon, we're ramping them up for Indigo King. And the hope is that I can actually get far enough ahead this year that next year I can take some serious time off.
That's the hope, at least.
That's the hope. But like I said, it's nothing to complain about, because there are an awful lot of authors that don't get the opportunities that I've had. And there's a lot of hard work involved and a lot of luck and just good blessings. So I'd like to take advantage of that while I'm in the middle of it. And it's actually both books, they've just come out in audiobooks as well, and they're being published this year in 16 countries. So I don't think it's going to be slowing down anytime soon.
Tell me about your online presence. What do you have available online for your fans? And
online, we have the main site, heretherebedragons.net, which is primarily about the dragon books. And then my studio website, which is coppervaleinternational.com, which goes into my comic books, my other novels that haven't been published here in the States, other freelance work that I've done. And then both of those have connections to my online journal, which is just kind of an online sketchbook, works in progress, and keeps up with my agenda. So lots of art. There's a lot of art to see.
Some kind of code or something you can put online, or is it?
Oh, no, the code I was referring to was from our other book, Lost Treasures of the Pirates of the Caribbean, which is the picture book I did with my brother Jeremy. And there's a pirate riddle spread throughout the maps. And there's a missing 14th map in the book. Actually, my wife's got one right here that I can show you. This was a commission that Simon & Schuster gave to us. The publisher had a pet project to do a pirate atlas. And they had no schedule for this. There was no time left. And they were going to take it off of their schedule. And the editor said, well, let me make one phone call. And the one phone call he made was to me. and said, can you do this? And we said we could. And I guess our idea was, if we can deliver the publisher's pet project on his schedule, if there comes a time we want to do something, then we can call him up and say, hey, can we work this in? And what we did was a series of maps to the actual pirate lands, but I wrote a story about a family of silversmiths that were recruited to become map makers for the pirates. And that was the narrative thread that tied all the maps together. And in all the maps, we hid some clues. And at the end of the book was a pirate riddle left in a book by Daniel Defoe, who wrote Robinson Crusoe, and was a friend of my map makers. And if you can solve the riddle and find the 7-letter answer, you can enter that on the Pirates website online and download the missing 14th map. So we're trying to make it a little bit more interactive. One of the things I've done, I talk to schools a lot, and we have a How to Draw a Dragon worksheet that we encourage teachers and booksellers to download and print out for the readers and the kids. So we're trying to have a bit more of an interactive presence online.
That's great. Thanks a lot.
You bet.